Derby County manager John Eustace completed his press conference ahead of the game at the Hawthorns just a few moments ago, and I've gone through all the key talking points, so make sure you stay with me across the course of this video so we can go through everything he had to say. Now obviously it's very interesting coming off the back of an international break and straight into an away fixture, but we've got some huge injury news in that regard with Sondre Langas and Owen Beck back within the squad. Both Lars-Jørgen Salverson and Patrick Agyemang have both been able to get themselves 30 minutes of game time in a behind closed doors friendly during that international break. Now that's the positive injury news, which I spoke more about in a video earlier on today. Now if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Check out the likes of Kitbag, NordVPN and Loaded down in the description. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go over and check out the brand new Derby County raffle where you can win yourself 2 free tickets or a Derby County shirt of your choice. If you haven't done so already, all those links will be down in the description. We will be live later on today from 6 p.m. So if you haven't done so already, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll catch you at 6 p.m. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket with a range of different bundles available to you where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets. And all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Now obviously it's been very interesting to hear John Eustace speak this afternoon in regards to that of the players that have come back and the way they've been working across the course of the international break, and it is very interesting to see how different managers discuss this time. I think if we go back to the time under Paul Warne, I think it was mainly seen as sort of a rest and recovery period, whereas underneath John Eustace it's really been a drill it, get the fitness levels in, get the players up to speed, and that is obviously what's very, very interesting. Now obviously he was asked questions about the international break where he discussed that it was a good couple of weeks on the training field, a hard working 10 days, but obviously the players did get their rest and recovery in as well. The main focus at the training ground has been on fitness levels and trying to drill into the players what the manager and the coaching staff does want. But he says it's quite difficult to be able to get that done when you've got 4 to 5 players away on international duty, especially some of them being new players. You look at the likes of Brereton Diaz, you look at obviously Max Johnston as well, who have been missing at Derby County over the course of the last couple of weeks, and obviously that makes it a little bit difficult to drill in what you want to do because ultimately you don't have your sort of starting 11 that you're going to use. And obviously that's unfortunate for John Eustace, but it's something that he's obviously going to have been able to work around. And he says that all of his international players are now back, with Ben Brereton Diaz being the latest arrival yesterday morning on the 11th, which he will be assessed heading into the weekend. But there is an expectation from me, not necessarily from anybody else, that he will probably be involved at the weekend. I can't see a reason why he won't be, but I do think it'll just be a bench role. I don't think he will be starting. Now, Eustace was asked a question in regards to how he feels about players on international duty with obviously the injury history that Derby County have, and he says that he's proud to see how far this club has come and sort of where we are now in comparison to where we were a few months ago. And he says it's a really proud moment for him as a manager to see those players play all around the world, and he says that it's a massive moment for someone of the likes of Max Johnston, who got their first international start for that of Scotland, and obviously him playing and the players playing, it aids their development, and that's sort of the aim that Derby County want to do, is make these players better and give them those opportunities at international level, and even help push Derby County to that next level as well, where you potentially start looking at playoffs, at promotion, and then you start looking at Premier League TV money, you start looking at the deals that you can make in that position. We only have to look down the road to see how quickly life can change as a football club club if you make a couple of good decisions, and that's what Derby County are aiming to do. Now, he did discuss the fact that it's really good to have a fully fit squad, and the only player that we are sort of missing at the moment will be Corey Blackett-Taylor and Curtis Nelson. Now, obviously, Curtis Nelson is injured anyway and has not been registered, so it will be interesting to see what the plan is for him. But across the course of the press conference, John Eustace did dive into that a little bit, discussing how it was the injury setback which has kept him out of the 25-man squad. Now, he does say that he wants him around the squad, and the aim is for him to get fit towards January, and the aim is that we can now take the time to give him that proper recovery, that proper rehab that he needs, in terms of making sure he's at the right levels, he's ready to be back with the group and things like that. And the aim from John Eustace's side is to give him 8 to 9 weeks to get fully fit, play some games with the B team, with the 21s, and begin to enjoy his football again as we head towards January. Obviously, it'll be a big decision what Derby County do in January, whether they keep Nelson or move him on. I personally believe that he will be moved on, if I'm completely honest, but we will wait and see. It was obviously then asked questions in regards to the departures of Kane Wilson, Kenzo Goudmijn, Ben Osborne and Jake Rooney. He didn't really dive much into that of Rooney or Osborne, but he did discuss Wilson and Kenzo, and he said that in regards to Kane Wilson, it was a tough call to let him go, but it was a great deal in terms of the club and in terms of Kane Wilson, and it was one which Eustace felt Kane couldn't really turn down. Now, he applauded his efforts last season and playing on his injuries and things like that, which in my opinion is probably one of the reasons why Derby County have let him go. But it's one of those situations. Players are going to move. It's part and parcel of the squad evolving, which is what Derby County want to do. 13 left in the summer, 13 have arrived, and for Derby County to get where we want to be, it's going to take time, and these players moving on who are potentially squad favourites like a Kane Wilson, maybe in the future an Ibu Adams, obviously wasn't mentioned by John Eustace, but we've got to get used to the idea that these players will be moving on, in my opinion. And John Eustace went on to say that Ipswich was a fine example of sort of where the club want to go, and the aim is to grow and improve with the huge quality that we've brought in this summer. You look at a Lewis Travis, a Carlton Morris, a Max Johnston. There's some incredible talent within the building now. We then discussed Kenzo, and Kenzo sort of expressed his concern about not being involved as much as he wanted to in the back end of last season, and as much as it was a difficult decision for John Eustace, he wanted to make sure he had the right blend in the squad, and he felt it was the right move for Kenzo to be able to go out and get the football that was necessary for him and push him in that right direction as he looked to try and rebuild his form and rebuild his confidence, which is going to take time, and he's going to get to do that back at home in the Netherlands for Go Ahead Eagles, and it puts him and both the club at a reset point in sort of where they are. I personally wouldn't be surprised if Kenzo never put a Derby shirt on again, and if he ended up sort of moving permanently within maybe the January or the summer transfer window. But obviously there's that opportunity to reassess in the summer with him having 2 years left on his contract. This is seen as a little bit of a reset point for John Eustace, who says that he's really proud of the efforts of the squad and the fact that we've been leading in 3 of the 4 league games so far, but he says that it's the late goals that are costing us. And although we showed great character versus Bristol City and the group are getting fitter and stronger, there's still those moments like against Ipswich Town, like against Coventry, where late on in the games we make some difficult decisions and ultimately it costs us points, which is obviously not the direction which Derby County do want to go in. And he then went on to discuss the squad size and the 25 options that he now has, and he was discussing how essentially it gives him great options to look at the squad, not just at 60 minutes when subs need to be made, but across the course of each game where he can adapt the squad to the opposition, or he can make us better to be able to attack the opposition in ways like that. And I think that's a really good situation to have. And John Eustace's key discussion point across the course of the interview was all about how important the squad is, and it's not a problem having these top performers within the building. Now, obviously, we have changes to make at the top end of the pitch, at the back end of the pitch, in the middle of the pitch, if we need to. And there's a ton of quality now within the squad to be able to do that. Whereas last season you looked at the bench, you looked at a Tom Barkhuizen, you looked at a Mendes Lang, you looked at a Charles Abuka on occasion, and you look at that and you go, they're just not what we need right now. And ultimately that's the difference we have this season, which is brilliant. And John Eustace made it very clear across the course of the interview that no one has a divine right to play, no one has a divine right to start, and everyone has a role to play. And the importance within the squad and within what John Eustace is trying to do is making sure that the players are positive and that they stay level-headed, because in order to be a team player with this squad, you're not going to play every week. You're not going to be winning every game. That's just part and parcel of football, and that is sort of what the coaching staff want. They want everybody to be able to stay on that stable ground and not too high, not too low, and just keep on going. And obviously, as I mentioned, John Eustace reiterated the point of it being important to have a squad of players that can rotate, not just within games, but also between games as well. And he says that WBA, West Bromwich Albion, are a great team, and they have a settled squad, an experienced squad. Obviously, Derby County facing up against former player Nat Phillips heading into this weekend if he is selected, and it will be interesting to see how that afternoon does go. Now, he was asked about Ben Brereton-Diaz in a little bit more detail, in which he went on to say that he's an experienced player, played for top teams in this division and even across the world. He's got promotion experience at this level. He's a leader, and he's one of those players who can play off the left. He can be direct. He can hold his width if he needs to, as well as having that ability to come narrow if needs be as well and help out with the forward line. And sort of the aim for Derby County now is having that flexibility across the front line of players that can move all the way across the front four. And I think we've got that in regards of the players we've got in that area right now. And that is the way how you win games. Now, Brereton-Diaz hasn't trained as of yet. I think I mentioned that earlier. But he was expected to train yesterday afternoon after the press conference was released. But we will wait and see if he is involved. I personally believe he'll probably be on the bench and get 20 minutes. But we will wait and see. Now, you can obviously let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We will be live at 6 p.m. later on today. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you have not done so already, check out NordVPN, check out Kitbag and Loaded down in the description. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice.